What's up, guys? It's Alex Gray, and you're listening to the Motoxpod Show.
This is Michael Mosman, and you're watching the Motoxpod Show.
Welcome to the Motoxpod Show, starring Darkside, his co-host Scotty, sometimes TJ.
What's up? Motoxpod Show is back. Had to take a week off, had some work responsibilities last week, so couldn't get the Motoxpod Show in, but we're back this week for episode 226, brought to you guys, you know it, Acerbis USA. For decades, Acerbis USA has been the leader in moto plastic and accessories with products that fit perfect, look great, and last. Acerbis has what you need. Whether it's full plastic kits, individual pieces, handguards, chain guides, and sliders, or anything else they offer, visit AcerbisUSA.com and support our title sponsor today. Follow them on Instagram and let them know you're listening. Scotty's in studio, by the way. The other guy, what was this? TJ. Yeah, TJ.
That guy?
That guy, as Foley says in that little intro, not in studio. Not in studio once again. Had time to go to Daytona Supercross. Had time to go to Detroit Supercross. Does not have time to be in studio. What a loser. Way to go, Scotty. You're a loser, too.
Yeah.
Yep, with your phone going off.
Always messing it up.
Man, just that silence is tough, bro. It's been 2 weeks. We're back at it. Speaking of Acerbis USA, man, if you got an old beater bike, a new bike that's you've been riding for a while, you know, nothing makes it look as fresh as a new set of plastic. So hit up Acerbis USA. We're going to have a little contest here that I'm going to mention in a minute where I'm going to try to get Foley to give something away. I don't know if it'll be a full kit. We'll give something away. And speaking again of Acerbis, reached out to Max Volan in Talon today to see how Max is doing. He got back on a bike today. So, he may or may not race this weekend. That's still up in the air, but he should be back soon. So looking forward to Max coming back to the track, to the races. And then, of course, Racetech is on board. Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket suspension modification company. All Racetech products include award-winning gold valves, and settings are 100% guaranteed and made right here in the USA. Racetech also offers state-of-the-art precision engine services and parts to all engine builders. So visit racetech.com for more info and use promo code MOTOXPOD to save. Guys, Mathis says it all the time, right? Even if you're just changing your oil, you got to get some work done. I don't know, if you have a blown fork seal because you're not using shock socks, if you need some suspension work, Racetech. There's a promo code, MotoXpod. That should save you some money, supports the show. So awesome, right? I mean, Fly Racing also on board, the best gear line on the planet. Guys, you can't beat it. FlyRacing.com. Go to your local dealership and ask for WPS and Fly Racing. You know, if you're here in the Texas area, you got Craig Martin and Skippy and Scott Foster and so many other guys. Triple J, he's, a Racetech guy, a Fly Racing WPS rep. Their reps are the best in the business. Go to your local shop, ask for Fly Racing, and again, as Steve says, pound on the counter and demand it. Get the catalog, get you some new gear, and really that's the best way to do it is go to your local dealership, support those reps. X-Brand goggles on board. The new Lucids are back in stock. Those things are amazing. I have a few sets still on hand if you want some. Darkside MX3 at AOL.com, or again, your local dealer, and they are distributed through WPS. Works Connection also on board with us. Come on, the Pro launch device. There's none better. Second to none. It's the leader in starts. I think I got all the whole shots this weekend in Detroit.
Yeah, I need one of those.
Yeah, you probably do. We might be able to work that out. I don't know. We'll see. We're not sure what's keeping you around yet. Torque One Racing's on board. Local Texas company. Handlebars, grips, lots of cool stuff. Levers. Hit them up. Torque One Racing. Our jerky, man. The Wageman brothers sent me a text today. Some of you guys ordered some jerky using the promo code. Hope you got it in time for the race. If not, place an order today, and you should have it before Indy gets here. That's what I snack on all the time. I love the 7 Deuce black pepper beef brisket. The sizzling hot, but it will light you up. So if you get the sizzling hot, you better have some water handy. Speaking of that, Cheruby's plastic, if you're going to get new plastic, need new graphics. Berm Lords, Graphics, and Jersey ID.
We got you covered.
They'll get you covered, absolutely. Berm Lords, you hit them up at graphics@bermlords.com. They'll get you a quote. They'll help you out. They'll also do your jersey lettering if you want it. Spoke of Shock Socks. William Motor Works for all your engine needs. Extreme Colors if you want a custom painted helmet. Kirk will do it for $345, I believe, is the price for Motoxpod listeners. Just hit me up here at the show on Instagram. I'll get you in contact with him if you want a custom painted helmet. Blood Lubricant, Oil Lines. They also have a killer discount code, MotoX, all caps. We're about to talk about some giveaways. They've got some new stuff. We're about to talk about that in just a moment. Power Band Racing. If you're a WP guy and you're out like the Florida area, WP or Power Band Racing has been on board for a long time. Those guys specialize in WP. You can hit us up here at motoxpodshow@gmail.com for more info. And then, of course, True Fusion Sports. That's Derek Kelly's company. That stuff is really good. Okay, so we got Detroit to talk about. We've got a good show, 226. We got Kyle Peters coming on. Kevin Moranz is going to come back on after a pretty good weekend. He's pretty happy with, he had some issues, but I think he's pretty happy with his finish overall. It was a good weekend for a lot of those privateers with all the injuries that we're probably going to try, or the crashes that we're going to try to touch on in a minute. And then we've got a guy, Bryan Ripple. He owns on Instagram at Rising Moto, one word, Rising Moto. It's a clothing brand. He's trying to get started. He wants to give back to privateers. His uncle raced professional back in like 2005. So we're going to talk to him. He reached out. I know very little about Bryan, but we're going to talk to him. We're going to see what he has to say. Maybe you guys support, buy some T-shirts or something. It'd be really cool if he's wanting to help privateers out. Can't really beat that. Okay, so we had a contest a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I think before the last show, so maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 shows ago, where we were going to give a Race Tech T-shirt away, and I asked for people that don't normally enter the contests. We got a bunch of entries. They're right here in this hat. I don't know what camera's on, but we got a bunch of entries. We're going to draw for a T-shirt in a little bit. And also I want to shout out Carolyn Osborne. She sent an email that kind of touched me a little bit. I need to find it real quick, and I'll read it. And I emailed her back. You're getting a T-shirt just because I thought your email was so good. But I asked for an address, and I haven't got a response. So, Carolyn Osborne, if you're listening, email me back. I feel like, did you have a question or something you want to say?
No, I'll text you.
Oh, here, okay. All right. All right. So, Blood Lubricants. Like I said, Jeff hit me up today. They have a new line called the Barracuda Blood line of oil. Bear with me real quick. Let me pull this text up because that's where all the information is. I didn't transfer it. Sorry. I suck. Here we go. All right. Called the Barracuda Bloodline, multiple grades, multiple weights of oil, replaces the Pro Series and the Pro Elite Series. We improved our ad pack even more, better protection, always like better protection, better performance, and it lasts even longer. That's like one of the things we always talked about is how long the oil already lasts, and they improved that.
Wow.
Keeps your bike running at a cooler temperature. We've already seen that. Kiefer tested that a couple years ago. Blood Lubricants kills it. It's only stuff I'm going to run. I love Blood Lubricants. I'm on board with them after all the testing, we gave you a little bit.
Yeah, I put some in. I went like 5 or 6 hours, and it's still red.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's awesome,
Yeah.
right? So the Barracuda line is the new line. And Jeff wants to give 4 quarts away to a winner. So what we're going to do here is I need you, if you're not already following Blood Lubricants, and that's BLUD, Blood Lubricants. If you're not already following them, go follow them. I need you to, their last post on Blood Lubricants on Instagram was about this new Barracuda line of oil. I need you to repost that on your page. Either use a repost app or screenshot it and, type something up. And then I need you to tag us at Motoxpod Show on that post so I know you did it. And somebody's going to win 4 quarts of the new oil, whatever weight you need. Jeff's going to hook you guys up. Pretty good contest. I like it. I would like to win some of this Barracuda. Barracuda. He's actually going to send us some. You don't get any, sorry.
Man, I'm not cool enough.
No, you're going to get some. So he's sending us a little bit of that. So that's the contest for tonight. I'm looking here. I feel like we have a few other things before. Okay, we'll talk then so I can read this text because I can't do 2 things at once.
Oh my God, you can't
about
multitask.
Nope.
Detroit was crazy. It was the outcome that surprised me the most was the fact that at this point in time,
Okay.
Did you fix the situation?
Just for everybody not watching, we had a sound issue on YouTube. I forgot to turn the volume switch down on the board because I had the external speakers, which means the board may be low now.
Yeah, let me turn it back up because I turned this.
Can you see that little slider?
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry.
Go back up.
Okay. So that was the issue. I forgot to turn that down. Yep. Tell me when we're good, and we'll rock and roll. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm back to where
You can just kind of barely see it on the slider.
No, it's coming right up to the yellow.
Okay, perfect. That should be good. So if you're on YouTube, let us know. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn that volume down. I had it cranked up for my external speakers that I use when I'm editing.
That was it.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. So where were we? Oh, we're going to talk about Detroit in just a second. We have a little bit of time. If you're watching on YouTube, put it on that center camera, the wide shot, if you don't already have it on there, so they can see the head.
Yeah, right here.
There is a mannequin head, if you're not watching, at the end of the table there that Jilly and Cody, Jilly's the one that cut my hair, sent me. This thing showed up. If you can see it, that's how it showed up. It wasn't in a box. It showed up on Amber's porch because that's the address I use when I'm shipping stuff. And she came home and saw this random head sitting on her porch and was like freaking out a little bit.
Like a hate crime or something?
She's like, what is this? Come get it off my porch.
Yeah, I'm not stoked on this.
So anyway, it's pretty cool. But here's what I want to do. I want to do another giveaway, and I'm going to hit up Fully at a Cherubies to try to give something away. That's what I was talking about a minute ago. I want our listeners to name the head. The head's going to stay in studio. You have to email us the name for this head at motoxpodshow@gmail.com. We'll pick a winner of the coolest or funniest or best name for the head. And whoever we pick will win something from a Cherubies. So, yeah.
It's rocking a little face tat. It's been to prison a couple of times.
I don't know if that's supposed to be the haircut she gave me.
It's Moto. We got Moto XXX on there.
Yeah, because I was wearing a Moto XXX shirt the night of the show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That is like your hair. That is the cut she gave you. That's
think
pretty
so?
good. It's pretty. Yeah. Dude, hold on.
So nuts.
You need a little bit of. Go get some Old Spice.
I don't think it was shaved that close on the side.
Dude, I don't know, man. That's. Maybe the size so
it's
much. It's
grown out quite a bit since then, so it doesn't look like that. Anyway, that's the contest for tonight at Cherubies. And I got one more. We'll say, remind me, because I will forget, Scotty. Maybe after Kyle Peters, we're going to do another blood lubricants giveaway for tonight on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you guys, this is for you guys. So stay tuned. Hopefully, we'll have like 10,000 people viewing. Probably got about 7 right now. So. Let me find that email real fast.
So, okay, so we have a couple of listeners saying some stuff.
They're saying some stuff.
Desi wants to know if you got the free bike yet, and you're still waiting on it.
Yeah, so an update on that. Kiefer and Checkers and I were in a group text about a week ago, and Checker said, hey, man, Kiefer, pull that suspension off, send it to us. They'll do the suspension, and they're going to code it and all that good stuff and send it back. And then after that, I just have to set up a time to go out there and ride the bike, which will probably be a couple months, honestly.
Yeah, why can't he just? You could get it here sooner than that.
Actually, a shipping company reached out and they're going to ship it to me for free. But Kiefer wants me to come out there and ride. That was part of the deal.
He should come ride with you.
Well, he's been trying, but Aiden got hurt, so I'm going to try to make a trip out there. But I would say, I could get it. Like he told me the other day, I'll just go ahead and get it to you. I was like, no, dude, I still want to come out there and ride with him.
Well, get it and then go out there.
Then take it back? I'm going to fly. I'm not driving.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you're talking about 4 days of driving. That's like a week of my vacation just to drive out there and ride for a couple of days. I'm not doing that. It's way more convenient for me to fly one day, hang out all weekend and fly back, and I don't have to burn vacation.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't have that much time off to do that. So the driving, and then what it would cost to drive out there right now?
Oh, yeah, the gas is retarded.
Especially my new truck.
Yeah. Oh, what a perfect time to get a nice gas guzzler, huh?
No
it can't be much different than what your truck was doing.
I don't know. I haven't driven it very much.
And then,
anyway, go ahead.
Garrett also asked how Doc Smith was doing. I talked to TJ today.
Garrett was, we talked about having Doc on tonight to talk about it, but I'm going to have him on. I'm going to try to get him in the studio next week.
Well,
so we can talk about Andy.
All I know is that he went down on a triple.
Yeah.
He broke 2 bones in his foot and a couple of ribs. And then TJ was telling he continued to ride for a little bit, and TJ was telling me that Doc has like this weird thing where like his body like doesn't register pain the way like most people are supposed to. So they've always had to kind of like watch him because he doesn't realize when he's hurt sometimes, which is kind of weird. It's almost like, I don't know if he's like a superhero or what.
That really ruins the joke I was about to get, man.
Yeah, but so apparently he didn't know that he was hurt that bad, and then come to find out that he was. So that's all I know.
Yeah. Well, I think he's planning on racing Indy.
Yeah, he's gonna patch her up, and
and he may be in studio next week, so we'll kind of get an update on everything. And speaking of the Race Tech shirts, as you recall, we just talked about it. I wanted emails that were from people that don't enter very often, and I got some email from a cake jury. I think that might have been Jake Curry, but it was cake. No go, man. You're out. So that didn't work. Sorry. That's a bad joke. Okay, so I found the email from Carolyn Osborne, who I said just automatically we're getting her a T-shirt. Let me read this real quick. She said, I started listening to Pulp in March of 2020 when our country was COVID shut down and have listened to every show and wrap-up show since. Finally, on air, you corrected Steve that your podcast name was Motoxpod and not the Pony Pod. So I found it, and I listened to your show as well. I'm a 62-year-old grandma of 3 youngsters and have been an avid dirt bike racing fan since my boys raced the Alessi brothers in 80s and 125s. You are a class act. It irritates me to hear how Steve talks to you like an irksome big brother. You speak to your guests with respect, and you don't interrupt nor talk over their conversations. I do interrupt you, but, that doesn't count.
I don't matter, though.
Yeah. You listen fully to their answers without interjecting your bias or opinion. You are always positive and uplifting. Every week I look forward to your call-in to Pulp because you are always poised and proper when Steve is dishing out some BS to you. He rides you hard, but you don't stoop to his level. Good for you. It shows your professionalism, and ignore his opinion of how you read your sponsor list. You speak clearly and not rushed, and your voice has good inflection. I appreciate that because I always worry about that. I'm sure your sponsors are proud to hear you represent them well. I have so much respect for you, working full-time in your day job, much respect to a paving crew, and then working the night shift all week to put out good podcast content shows. Kudos to you, my friend. Thank you, Carolyn. Oh, and then she said, P.S., Scotty sucks.
She didn't say that.
No, she didn't. So Carolyn is getting a shirt. All she has to do is respond to the email, which so far I haven't seen a response.
You got some grandma love?
Yeah, I got some grandma. Well, that sounds that way. So
nice.
Appreciate it. I'm a grandpa.
You'll pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, and I mean, there was actually a bunch of them like that, and it was really nice. A lot of really nice responses. So, but that one, I don't know. I thought it was cool that she found it because Steve, she's not the first person that said that they found it after I corrected the Pony Pod BS.
And I have corrected that issue from happening in the future because I put hashtag Pony Pod on our hashtags on the YouTube show. So if somebody does search Pony Pod, it does pop up.
Really? All right. Right on.
Actually, I haven't tested it. I should type it in.
I don't know about how all that.
I hashtagged it, so I don't know.
Okay. We got a little bit of time. We can talk about Detroit.
Oh, what I was saying right before,
Did I interrupt you?
Yeah, I was saying that the most interesting thing after the fact, after all the racing was done, and we're now into the next week
in Detroit.
Yes. Now that all the stuff that happened, I haven't gotten into any of that. All I'm saying that the fact that it is now the biggest points lead that we've ever had at this point in the series was weird to me because it was like one of the closest ones that we had 2 weeks ago.
Overnight, it got
to the biggest one that's ever been since like 90s something. I don't know.
Overnight, it got quote unquote boring. I mean, hopefully the race is still going to be good, but like the championship feels like it's probably out of hand, more than likely.
Yeah,
unless something weird happens.
I thought that was interesting. I did not think I didn't think that points lead was the biggest it's been. Like I feel like I've seen like Carmichael and them didn't have a points lead like that at some point.
I didn't back or fact check Marks. Maybe he's wrong, but he's usually not. So
yeah, I feel like he would have
pretty accurate. Yeah, dude. So I reached out Chase. I was trying to get Chase on tonight. He couldn't make it tonight, but he says he feels pretty good. I reached out to Dylan's camp, and I got it's up in the air. Too early to say. So
I don't even know if I ever saw Dylan's. Was it on?
I think I heard them on the review show say they saw a video of it, but I don't think it was on the
I didn't see it on the broadcast.
Maybe it was on Instagram somewhere. But yeah, so he's questionable. I'm trying to think. Who else did I talk to? Nothing on web. Chase said he was okay. Oh, Jason, I sent a text out to Jason's camp and got he's good, feeling good. So, and he rode today from what I saw on Instagram.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, who else? Who am I missing? Somebody else. I feel like there's
one
more.
And then another.
Oh, Marvin fell over, but that.
Well, and another big point is you know, it's kind of been, I think it's been a little bit overlooked since all this stuff happened at the race, but the fact that Roczen pulled out for mental reasons, that's a big, I mean, I know he
didn't really say mental reasons. I'm saying mental reasons from what I heard.
Well, that's what I got from
apparently
it.
he is over in Europe right now for medical stuff. There's still some other stuff going on.
I heard it was a mental health thing.
No, that's what I heard, and I was saying that, but I haven't got that confirmed. That's sorry if I moved away from Mike. What?
Garrett says searching #PonyPod brings up Limp Bizkit, a real life pony podcast, horse stuff, etc.
Yeah, I don't know how the hashtags work, but
I put them on there.
I knew there was an actual podcast called Pony Pod because somebody.
It's a horse thing.
Yeah, somebody on Twitter or whatever was like, "No, it really exists."
It's like the Carol. It's like the Carol Baskin of horses.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know how that works, but yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, we're gonna have everybody back this week. Dylan's a little questionable. It sounds like Cooper's okay, which he sure didn't look like it the way he was riding around with his arm or shoulder or whatever he was wired, but. It sounds like they're all going to show up to race, but whether those guys are really competitive as they've been I doubt.
Anything can happen. You never. But I think that now that Tomac got that lead, you're going to see him riding in like second or third, and I feel like Mookie, Anderson, and Sexton are going to and maybe even Webb if Webb is okay. I don't know if that banged him up, but I feel like those four guys are going to start getting some wins, and Tomac's going to chill in like second or third of the rest of the season. That's how I see it going down. Obviously, it's probably
they talked about that last night. And it's weird. Like I kind of hate that we always go back to Steve, but his show's the night before ours, and listen to it, and he touches all this, covers most of this ahead of time, which is why we don't touch on it a ton. But yeah, I mean that's kind of when Mookie was on last night. They're like, well, if Mookie gets out front and Eli's second, like. And he's not feeling – Eli's not feeling like, okay, I have to go get him. Like, why would he, right? Just ride smart. I mean, there's another championship really right there in his grasp, and the guy's going to break so many records at this rate. Like, if he's already signed another deal from what I hear, another year deal.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to win outdoors. You think he's the favorite right now.
I mean, he's on the bike that won the championship last year. Yeah. He's winning a championship on it currently in Supercross this year. So
he's unreal right now, and it's cool, man. I mean, part of me, I wanted Dylan to win, and then I switched to Jason. Jason is my backup, and I still want Jason to win the championship.
Your Dylan take did not work out.
No, it didn't go well at all. It didn't age well. But I knew that going in. I was just trying to test everybody.
Oh, is that what it was? Because you seem pretty damn confident about it.
I wanted to see which idiots would jump on board and follow, who were just the followers. I knew better.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't make that point back then.
No, I mean, I wanted to, if I had done that, then who would have actually said
You could have said it off the air. You never did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
we had plenty of bonding time. We had we were together for 4 days in Arizona and never once mentioned that.
That's because you were too busy asking me how old people were.
Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about the day. How old are they? How much money they make? Where they're from?
Hey! See that guy that walked across right there? How old do you think he is? Hey!
I'm saying solid 42. Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. I like people watching, man.
I like people watching too. You just asked questions I wasn't prepared for. Like I don't know the answer. Sorry, man.
Sorry for trying to make small talk.
How old I am half the time. I had to do the math today.
Yeah, that's bad.
Well, I've tried to quit counting because I'm getting old.
See, I'm actually set up pretty good for the future because I was born on a 90, so like an even year.
Yeah.
So
I was a multiple of 5, so yeah.
So I could just add 10 to whatever year it is now because 2000 on, sure. If I just add 10 to that, I'm good. I feel like even when I'm 60, I can add 10 to whatever year it is.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so. A couple more things before we go to our a couple more things before we go to our first commercial break. You guys know I've been writing some articles for Racer X, so this month's magazine is out. I believe it's the May issue, and my first article in print is out. It came out Friday. I think Eli's on the cover.
Man, I should have brought you cookies today.
Bro, I got to get a copy of it. And I went to our local Books A Million. They have Dirt Rider. They have like ATV magazine.
Oh, they still make them.
They have Motocross Action. They don't have Racer X. I asked, hey, you got any Racer X? It's not even in our system. They used to have Racer X. I don't have a copy. I was told they're going to send me a copy,
Did Walmart don't have it?
I didn't check Walmart because I don't think they don't really have a lot of magazines anymore.
They used to always have that magazine thing in the
center,
middle.
but that shit's gone because
Is it
magazines
gone?
are dying.
I mean, yeah.
They
You finally
have
get
them
on
in
a
the back
magazine in
now.
2022, and
They have some magazines in the back by the books, but I didn't go look to see if they have Racer X. It's such a, again, niche sport. I don't assume they're going to carry it.
yeah.
Like I renewed my subscription. Everybody else needs to go renew their subscription. So you
Yeah,
can get my
I haven't
articles.
had one of those in a while.
You can get my 10 minutes with, and you get a free cup if you order. I got mine in.
A cup.
Yeah, it's a tumbler with a lid, like a coffee.
Oh, that's
Coke,
nice.
Sweet tea, whatever. I got my sweet tea in mine. But yeah, go order, and I think there's notes like where you could put like notes in there and you were subscribed for Dark Side.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. I'm getting paid. I just got my W-9 today, so I'm going to start getting paid for these things. But yeah, go check out the latest issue of Racer X. Even if you do the online only, it's on there.
Yeah.
If you pay for the online magazine, not just the free online stuff, you have to pay for the magazine side, and my article's on there. And then I just did another privateer profile with Richard Taylor that went up last week, and I'm recording with Mathis tonight to do a privateer profile on him about all the stuff he's done for privateers. So, man,
it's just moving on up, man.
I'm telling you, I'm going to take over. Trying to take over. But anyway, I would appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to Racer X and let them know that you listen to the show, man. I mean, that would help me out. It means a lot. So let's show them the Moto Xpod show love. Anything else before we take a break?
I do have a point, but I don't know if I have enough time to go into it right now.
Well, you got like 2 minutes. Let's do this instead. Let's save it. Don't forget it. Let's do the blood lubricant or the Race Tech T-shirt deal. So, can you reach in there? Pick a winner. Well, just take that one.
Take it in again.
Doesn't matter. We're picking a winner for a T-shirt. If you didn't enter the next contest. We like to give stuff away when we can.
We have Chris Ash.
Chris. Why can I not speak tonight? Chris Ash. Chris with a K, like Chris Kiefer. I kind of feel like that's a fake. I don't think anybody else spells their name with a K. Chris.
It's
Chris Ash.
ASCHE.
Hit me up in the email. Respond to the email. I'll email you tonight if I don't forget. And I'll need your shipping address. I'll need your size T-shirt. And I think all we have is medium, large, and extra large. Pretty sure that's what we have. So, yeah, hit me up.
Don't ask me.
I'm not really looking at you for an answer. I'm just thinking. Let's take a commercial break. We'll be back with Kyle Peters. All right, we're back from our first commercial break, and Kyle Peters went straight to voicemail, and his phone is on green. He's got an iPhone, but the text went to green, which I think means it's off or something along those lines. So no KP, but our boy over at Moto Limited show, Trent Maher, not the other doofus over there, not that Nick guy. Trent Maher, I guess he was watching on YouTube. He wants to jump on, so we're going to talk to Trent Maher from Moto Limited show. What's going on, Trent? What are you doing, man?
Dude, it's 10 o'clock in the morning here in Australia doing my day job, as we all still work a day job. But, man, I helped get you out of a pickle there because sucks that KP come on. I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. And I bet he'll text back at some point. I texted him earlier today. And he was like, yeah, thumbs up. We're good. But who knows what's going on. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. Well, first of all, Trent, you're going to be brought to us by Cherubies USA and Works Connection. You guys all know about Cherubies USA and the plastic, how it fits perfect, makes your bike look brand new. Hit those guys up. And also Works Connection. Since the inception of Works Connection in 1989, Eric Phipps' goal has been to produce Works-like products for general public with products like the industry standard Pro Launch Start Device, the Elite Clutch Perch, which I have one sitting over here behind my laptop for that 250 when I get it. Radiator braces, I got some of those. Customized master cylinder, I got one of those. And much more. It's hard to imagine you not going to worksconnection.com so you too can have what the pros use. So yeah, Trent, what's going on, man? How's the weather in Australia right now?
It is pretty hot down here at the moment. I mean, we're based here in Queensland. We're just coming out the back end of some flooding happening here. So, yeah, it's been pretty hectic down here. But no, it's a beautiful summer's day down here. We're nearly end of summer now, but it's been good. What about you guys? How's it over there in Texas?
Man, it's this time of year. Well, almost any time of year in East Texas. In East Texas, where we're at, it's like 30 degrees one day and then 60 the next. And last night we had a storm roll through that was like, I thought was going to blow my house down.
It was foggy and like 60 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
And then in like noon, it was like 45 or 50, and
it did get chilly, didn't it?
It got like cold and then kind of cloudy, and then now it's sunny and like 60. So I like literally did like 3 different things today.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's impossible to stay healthy here in East Texas.
Oh yeah, dude. You always get that every. I just had it a couple weeks ago where that new shift of weather comes in, and I'm down for like a week.
That's terrible, guys. But what about some Supercross talk? What about, do we just hand all these titles over now, like all 3 of them, and just go to outdoors? Are we done with it?
Honestly, man, if you're being 100% realistic, there's very little chance of either. Well, any of the 3 guys, even like when West Coast comes back, like those guys are pretty, without doing anything stupid or any major injuries, I think Eli, Jet, and Christian are our champions. I don't think there's a lot the other guys can do, unfortunately, and that sucks.
But then you look at it, though, but they are, well, the 250 guys, they're the 2 best 250 guys we got at the moment in that class. So, and then Eli, I mean, are we surprised how good he is on this Yamaha? I mean, there was, Nick, my show partner, Nick, was very high on it coming in, but I think a lot of us had questions. He's better.
Yeah, I expected him to be good at the end, but I kept saying that he was, it's going to take a while. He's going to have to adjust, and I would not have bet money that he'd be this good this quick. I think the first round he got a bad start, as he usually has tended to do, and didn't really make his way through. But then after that, I've 100% surprised. But then I called Dylan Ferrandis to win. So what do you expect from me?
What surprises me about Tomac is not the fact that he's in the points lead. It's the fact that he's been like the more consistent guy. Like, and earlier in his career, Dungey was faster than Dungey, but Dungey was so consistent and didn't have those races that he was beat him in the title. And the fact that Tomac is done it by maybe getting a couple of seconds and thirds and being the more smart, consistent one, and not being just the balls out fastest guy. That's what surprised me, the fact that the way he's done it, not the fact that he's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the discussion on the show is like, is this the best Eli Tomac or the best version of Eli Tomac? Because to me, honestly, I think this is like the combination of everything he's learned over the last 5 years of his career is now come together where he's got everything dialed in. He's still got that speed when he needs to turn it up, but he now has that Dungey consistency, and he knows how to run these championships properly. And I think he's a lot more happy too where he is in
Clearly.
Under that 10. So I think it's just everything come together, and he's finally this is probably the Eli Tomac we all expected in 2015 when he was just lights out fast on that Honda. I think this is the guy we were hoping would show up. It's just taking a little bit for him to get here.
Yeah, he hasn't been the guy that can come from like 10th.
He did in Detroit though. He was straight up in 10th on the start.
That's true, but like there were some races in like Trent was talking about in the past where like he's 3 seconds a lap faster. Like he hasn't been that much better, but he's consistently better. And I think those things we've seen about him in the past, and Kellen kind of mentioned this last night. Like in the past when Tomac would crash and you'd be like, why is it taking him so long to get up? And I talked to him about that at some races, and he's like, dude, I'm on the backside of a jump. I'm not going to just get up and halt and willy-nilly and go jump back out there. Like
Carmichael in like 99.
He's thinking about all this. Like, and we kind of made fun of him or analyzed stuff. I think he's like you say, Trent, he's matured, and now he's the perfect Eli Tomac. Like he's fast or not faster than anybody. He's consistent. He stays away from stupid mistakes. He rarely crashes, and he doesn't have to go in by 3 seconds. He's the perfect Eli Tomac right now. And again, you mentioned him being happy, and I'm sure he's got to be getting tired of us asking about that. I almost asked him at the press conference if you're tired of us asking about you being happier, but there's something different about him, man. It has all come into place at this later stage of his career, and it's really unusual.
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing because it's kind of shook everything back up. Like there's obviously talk coming in that it's the changing of the guard, the new the Sextons and the ACs, and these guys are coming to take it over, and then he kind of steps up and surprises. Well, not I don't know if it's a surprise or if it's just he just has showed up and is a completely different guy and answered all the questions we had. So
What do you think about him outdoors? You think he's going to dominate that too? Because I kind of feel like I should just go ahead and jump on that bandwagon now.
I think you got to get on it early so you can call it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not as hot as your Ferrandis take, and unfortunately, I was kind of with you on the Ferrandis side. Not that he was going to win. I wasn't going out on that big a limb. I thought it was going to be better, but unfortunately, she's been a little bit of a disaster. But
did you hear him earlier, Trent? He was like saying he was trying to claim that it was a test to all of us now at this point. Yeah, he's trying to. Yeah.
My bet with Nick was the same. I said because I'm pretty bad at betting on stuff, I always lose. So when I did bet on Ferrandis, it was to make Eli better. So you're welcome that Eli's going to be the champ.
Speaking of your partner in crime, Nick, can we talk about the what he's doing right now?
Yeah, I guess so. Depending on what you're talking about, he's got a lot of things going on.
Well, the World Supercross stuff is that he's kind of helping out. He's involved. You guys are all involved, I think.
Well, yeah, we with Adam Bailey and that, we have a really good relationship with Adam, and we've built it over the last couple of years. And obviously, with us being Australians and trying to do what we're doing, he's, obviously a big advocate for us. And Nick's just taken over the ride facility down here that Bailey has been a part of. So, he's sort of working there at the moment doing that. But then, we're trying to obviously do media for World Supercross. And, we had him on the other day before Mathis did. So no shameless plug there. But
Moto Limited show. Moto Limited.
We had him on there and we asked him, sort of what was going on and how it was all going to work. And a little bit different too to, about taking on Feld. We were more like, what about all this other stuff and all these other ways you want to do it and that sort of stuff. So we're trying to help where we can, and he's trying to help us. And hopefully, Nick wants to go to Dubai for whatever round's going to be in Dubai.
Oh, yeah. Dubai looks rad.
Yeah.
There's so much money there.
Crazy money. So,
man, find me a sugar mama.
So we're sort of, not too hands-on with it, but we're kind of like, asking questions and then kind of getting opinions for different things that we've seen along the way. So it's pretty cool. But his biggest thing is being a part of that ride facility now. And he's, if you know Nick, he's a real big soil guy, and he likes to talk about soil and work with soil. So he'll be pumped, prepping me up a track that I can go ride all the time and tell him how bad it is.
I like it. Yeah, I missed you guys in the press conference Saturday night. I was like, man, that's the first one I think you guys have both missed.
Yeah. Well, we were. Nick it was his first weekend of the job, and because of the rain we've had down here, he's had to try and rebuild the facility from it being partially underwater. And I do live announcing at our local events, so I was. My voice sounds a little raspy today, is because I'm still trying to recover, because there was some great action at our local racing we have here. We have like some of the best kids in Australia that race at our state level events, and kids down here still race. We don't have facilities; they race, week in, week out if they can. So, dude, I get to announce that. So it sucked we missed it because, dude, what a weekend for Supercross too. Our phones blew up during the day with people like messaging us about what was going on, and we're trying not to look at it because we couldn't watch it. But it was intense. Well, watching that final 450 moto, it's
insane. You're right. I mean, I don't know. I think they're right last night. That's too many laps, but I don't really think the number of laps had anything to do with the issues. I mean, it started with Cooper, what I think he brain farted, which
happens.
Anybody knows I've had some experience with that. Kind of lost track where I've had that issue before. Thank God nobody landed on top of me. But that's between that and then Jason, man, like the Jason Anderson thing was just.
You mean Justin Anderson?
Or Justin. Yeah, like he just barely tipped over, it seemed like, but then he was clearly loopy. And if you watch, I think it was the review pod where they were kind of like, it's kind of funny, or maybe it was main event. It was main event, Daniel's show.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, like, it was kind of funny because the comical was almost like something out of a movie. Like he got back on the bike and took off, and he just starts slowly veering to the left, and he just tips over like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
First glance, that crash looks like nothing, but when you slow it down and you watch how violently his head hits the ground, though, like, dude, that was a big hit. But
it's a pretty blue groove right there.
Oh, it looked like concrete. And I mean, Jordan Smith talked about that the other night on Pulp too, that it was pretty hard there all day. So, Yeah, it was crazy. To be honest, though, with the Cooper thing, I think he brain farted, but also having Chase, coming up the inside and putting the pressure on him, and then, not Cade Clason's fault, but Cade being on the outside, it kind of just, everything was going on at once, and he just hit the accelerator and went, oh, wait a minute. You could just see in the air, you could just see him go, oh, that was the wrong decision to make right now.
Yeah, he tried stretching it out,
Yeah, so a bit of a brain fart, but, and then, just like, chaos had just entered the chat. Basically, it just turned into this. It nearly was a 450 LCQ at the end of it.
No
where
shit.
People were just going everywhere.
Good point. Yeah. Hell, the LCQ was crazy too. The whole race was crazy. It was a crazy night. I mean, the racing was crazy. The announcing was crazy. It was a mess. And then,
Got to be careful of those grip guards, man. Those grip guards
are pretty. Guards. Yeah, I heard that too.
I didn't hear.
He's talking about hand guards. He kept calling them grip guards.
I heard the Justin Anderson thing, and I just stopped listening to him after that.
Todd also called him grip guards.
Yeah, I know. I literally stopped listening to it. When Todd starts speaking, I don't listen.
Yeah, I zoned out a little bit too, and I told Daniel, I said, man, I was sort of just kind of was. I was in the Pulp chat room for fantasy, and I was more involved in that and just watching because it's just not as good without Daniel there, man.
Dude, it sounds like he's like. I'm not okay. To me, it sounds like we're trying to we're commentating this for a kindergartner watching his first TV show ever. Is what it sounds like when he's on there.
I think the NBC announcers, the guys that are contracted to NBC, him and Lee and Ralph in the past, but Ralph might not have been contracted by NBC, but that's what they're told to do. That's what they want.
There's got to be a middle ground.
But NBC does not understand our sport. They don't care about our sport. They care. They're just trying to make money off of it. It's a sport, and they're like, okay, Lee does racing. Lee covers racing. Let's put Lee in there. It's just racing to them.
I feel like I'm watching Motocrossed, like the Disney movie, which I loved. I grew up watching that movie. But that's what it sounds. The announcing sounds like that.
That's what they want. They want. Go ahead.
But to be honest, I just come off live announcing at an event on the weekend, and the first one, you're always kind of rusty. And, Todd's only done 2 for this year, and he's come in, round 9 and round 10? Mm-hmm. And he's, so he's you got to get in the groove of knowing the names and the numbers and and just the pace that everything happens in Supercross. Everything happens really, really quick. So you got to give him a little bit of slack and
that's
don't
a good
hammer
point.
him, but
that's a good point. But, he's that's his job. That'd be like Darkside going and putting the wrong pipe in a hole and flooding somebody's house. I hadn't worked this weekend. I put the wrong pipe in. That wouldn't work.
Don't put that past me. It doesn't take. I can take a couple days off, and I got to relearn everything, man. We're talking about me.
Yeah. Well, okay. If they want to go to that direction where they want to make it for kids,
it's not about kids.
Well, just that
NBC wants it where everybody, like Steve has talked about, the person that flips to the channels, that doesn't know anything about it, catches it and goes, oh, that's interesting. Then they want it bland.
Then put that on, have that person cover the one that goes on the national broadcast. All of us that pay for Peacock or whatever, give us.
So now you want them to pay for 2 announcers?
Just put DB in there.
They got to pay him.
Well, then Peacock will pay for it because I'm paying Peacock.
Peacock is NBC.
Yeah, well, then they can pull it out of the Peacock budget.
Well, I don't think they're going to be on NBC next year, so.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't see them going back because I don't think. Hey, hang on one second.
We have a listener that says he gets slack on the first one.
KP's been trying to call.
Okay.
Hey, Trent, we're going to let you go, man.
Later, Trent.
Peace.
All right, thanks for helping out, bud. See ya.
No worries.
All right, bye. Hang tight.
All right. Changing plans, guys.
Yeah.
Changing plans. To Austin's point, you said he gets slack on. I agree. He gets the first time's cool. Saying it 4 times not cool.
Right.
Hello?
KP.
What's up, buddy?
Bro.
I'm so sorry, man.
Well,
so sorry.
It's all right. We got one of our buddies to jump on. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a lot of time with you now. We'll probably got about 10 minutes before we run up against our next guest, but we can get into some stuff.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome.
All right, hang tight. Let me, all right, here we go. All right, we had to let Trent go, but KP, he didn't ghost us. He just, I don't know. We'll find out what happened, but KP is on the phone with us. He is brought to you by Cherubies USA and Works Connection. Kyle Peters, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys? Sorry about that. Having some technical issues with my phone. Yeah,
I kind of figured that because you clearly have an iPhone because the texts are usually blue, and then I noticed the one I sent you earlier was green, which generally means it's off or there's something with iMessaging is down. So I kind of figured and it was going straight to voicemail. So I figured it was something technical.
Yeah, definitely wasn't ghosting you guys. Love you guys. Feel really, really bad.
Not a problem, man. It's, dude, you don't know this. We need to get into you, but like I made a huge mistake with technical issues when my first time ever trying to get Eli Tomac on the show. I finally got him on the show, and I mixed up my Central and Pacific time and told him 2 hours too early.
Oh, no.
And I was literally in the shower, and I was getting calls from their PR manager like, he's waiting on you. And I was like, oh, shit, it's not even showtime. And he was pissed. So I've been there, dude. But let's get into, since we only have about 10 minutes with you.
Yep.
Dude, you had a pretty big get-off at Daytona, right? And broke your hand, ribs. And how are you feeling right now?
Right now, I'm feeling good. Like, it's honestly not much pain. It's just when I go on the bike, my ribs, obviously the jarring in Supercross, all the G forces, it doesn't feel very good. And then my hand doesn't hurt too bad. I just don't have much grip strength.
Yeah.
And I tried to ride last weekend. Obviously didn't really work very well. I could do maybe a lap to 2 laps at a time, and even at that, like, it wasn't at a fast pace. I was just kind of out there riding around. So the team and I kind of decided to take the weekend off. I would have probably ended up crashing and hurting myself more, or something silly would have happened. So
yeah, I was gonna say, with the way Detroit went and the number of laps put in, that was probably the best time to sit out a race.
Yeah, that was a gnarly race.
Man, you are not lying. Like, we were just talking about that. Like, it's hard to even wrap our brains around everything that went down. And I don't know that really any of it was because of the track conditions. Like, I mean, maybe there were some contributing factors, but like, it was just all weird stuff.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, so many title guys going down, going out, and it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But
and all in like a minute and a half.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, definitely.
I was sitting in the stands watching, and I'm just like, what is going on?
No kidding. Yeah, I think that's what anybody watching was thinking. Like, oh my God, just one after the other, insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but hey, so again, I'm going to rush through some stuff. Congratulations on the Arena Cross Championship again.
Thank you.
I'm sure Steve will get you on and talk about how much money you made again. And now you're probably like a millionaire, right? But
oh yeah, whatever.
I want to transfer though, like the idea of the difference in Arena Cross and Supercross for the average viewer, even for a media guy. I'm like, okay, it's the same basic idea, small arena, but it really is a drastic difference. Can you kind of explain that for the people listening? Like, even like Michael Hicks came out this weekend, right? And he didn't look near as good as he does in Arena Cross. Like, what is the difference, or what does it take to physically, mentally make that jump?
Man, yeah, like you were saying, it's two different worlds, really. I think when Feld was running it, it was a little bit more similar to Supercross because it was a little bit more peaked, a little bit more technical. It had big whoops. And now, like the past 3 years since I've been running it, so the amateurs race with us essentially, like in between our motos.
Right.
They'll have 50s, 60s, C class, literally everything.
Kids,
out there racing. So they make the tracks. They can't make the tracks gnarly. They can't make them very technical. So you have to. It's a fine line of how they can build the tracks for everyone, with also having us there to race and be good for us too. So there's a few arenas that we go to where they'll have like a pro section, and that'll either be like a pro double or a set of whoops, like a bigger set of whoops, which that helps. But essentially, like, the tracks, they're just super tame. So bike setup is on different planets as far as suspension setting, chassis settings. It's so much different. We like our main events are 15 laps at arena cross, and usually anywhere from 25 to 30-second lap time.
Right. Yeah.
A little bit longer.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're out there for 6-7 minutes for a main event. But yeah, like I really like it in the sense of like I get a lot of gate drops coming into Supercross, a lot of racing time. I know it's not exactly the same, but it's still like I'm flying to different places, getting to race, flying home. So it's kind of like similar to Supercross in that aspect. Like you kind of get into the groove of kind of in the season.
Yeah.
And I think it does help me a lot coming into Supercross. But yeah, just bike setup is hard to nail down.
So is that a difficult transition? Like, let's say you're racing arena cross this weekend, and next weekend or even 2 weeks you're going back to Supercross. Is it a difficult transition, or is it just, all right? It's just, I mean, it's still riding a dirt bike, but how difficult is it to make that mindset change?
So it can be tough depending on a few different things, but for the most part, like I practice Supercross all winter, even during arena cross season.
Okay.
I mostly just ride Supercross, but then my arena cross bike is completely different. So definitely still have to put a lot of time in on that suspension setting, the chassis settings, because they're both very different than my Supercross bike, and just knowing kind of what it's going to do on the track. That's another thing. But yeah, it's drastically different arena cross to Supercross, and my bike is completely different.
Interesting.
Both ways.
Yeah. Okay. That fills me in on some stuff. Go ahead, Scotty.
All right. So I'm going to put two of my questions kind of into one. So since we're all short on time.
Yeah, I actually told Moranz that we're running a little bit behind. So we have a few more minutes with him.
I can still put this into one question. So I kind of wanted to know, like, do you have any ambition? Like, I know you are on a streak now and you're doing the arena cross thing, and you kind of probably want to keep that going. But is any of your ambition to break the record that Buddy Antonez had I know he had 5. So do you have any ambition to break 6? And then also the second part is, it seems like you would kind of be a good candidate for the new World Supercross thing that's coming up. So is that kind of something that you would like to do as well? Kind of just, take us through both of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Buddy, I think, has 5 overall championships, and then I think he has 111 something wins. So I'm not even close to his win record.
He's a beast.
Yeah, it's that guy's incredible. He's a legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to go after his record. That's something that I think is achievable. And yeah, like I love arena cross. It kind of takes me back to growing up. It's a little bit more not so much like Supercross, where there's so much pressure and like you're in a big semi and you're kind of away from the fans. Like this, like we're parked right next to a kid on a 60 or
that's cool,
50 kids. So like we're interacting with the fans a lot more, interacting with the riders a lot more, talk to them, obviously. Like we're down there and staging with them. So that's something that's really, really cool and that I really like. It kind of brings me back to having fun, hanging out with Dad at the night track growing up, kind of deal. So definitely want to go after that record. And then the World Supercross, I would love to do that. Like that would be my ideal really season for me to do arena cross, Supercross, and then go into the World Supercross. That would be incredible. I wouldn't have to go sell cars. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, no, we were just talking when you weren't able to answer. Our buddy Trent Maher over in Australia, who is part of the Moto Limited show, they're both, him and his co-host are working for those guys and friends with those guys over there. So we were just talking about that series, and I think there's some big things coming. I know like Steve was talking, and like some of those guys are like, it might be hard to get some of the bigger names, and there's some, I'm hearing some of those bigger names have already said they're in.
Really?
Yeah. Now, whether they some of these bigger names can say, I'm doing this or I'm doing that, and then their team can say, no, you're not. But I know there's a couple pretty big names that want to do it. But I think for guys like yourself, a Cardau, those I think it could be really good for you guys.
Yeah, I would. That's the dream, really. To be able to travel around, race my dirt bike, have fun, see new places,
and not have to sell cars.
Exactly. That's a perfect scenario for me. So definitely, I would love to make that happen.
But why do you have to sell cars? What did Steve say you made last year? I forget what it was, but
trust me, if I made what Steve said I made, I wouldn't be selling cars.
Yeah, it's funny though. Anytime anybody asks Steve about what he makes, because it's up in those probably numbers of what he said you make, he doesn't like that. He's like, he shuts that down real quick. Steve doesn't like shit being turned back around on him.
That's funny. I love those guys.
Yeah. Next time he talks to you, my ceilings aren't 18 feet tall. I don't have a pool. I don't have 3 gates to get into my house. Yeah, give it back to him. Yeah, free bikes. Shoot, Steve's living the dream. Anyway,
if you did do that world championship thing, would Phoenix be able to support you through that, or would you have to go find your own deal for that?
That's part of that.
I'm not sure.
Go ahead. That's part of that deal. Is they're going to have 10 teams, I think, is what it is, that basically buy in, or there's 10 teams, and they're going to get a certain number of riders, and those teams like.
So a privateer can't do it.
We can't start a team and be like, hey, we're a part of it. You have
Moto
to get
Xpod show team and take Kyle.
We can't do that. No, there's no Moto Xpod show. They're going to approve certain teams, and those teams are in, and they have a contract for a certain number of years, I believe. Steve did a podcast on it, but if they decide after 2 years, we don't want to do this anymore, they can then sell that position or that team, that spot, to somebody else, and then that team can take it over. That's how I understand it to be. So like Kevin Moranz or Kyle Peters or Cade Clayson would have to get on an approved team, and that's how that's going to work. It's not going to just be like a privateer semi show up at the race and you can race. So.
Yeah, that'd be tough for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting though. And I think it's originally when I heard about this thing, I was like, that's not going to work, man. It's in the same time as nationals, and and nobody's going to be down for that. But I'm changing my tune pretty quick. I think this is going to be I think it's going to work out, and I think it's going to grow every year. The only issue,
I hope so.
Yeah, the only issue that kind of stood out on the pod that Steve did was them talking about AMA or Feld has contracts with all these venues in the United States, and I'm sure in other countries other people have venues. And if World Supercross tried to come to the United States and race, the Feld could be like, if you allow them to race in your venue, we could say, we're no Monster Jam, no Supercross in your venue again. So that's politics involved. Not saying that they would do that, but I guess in the past that's happened with Clear Channel and some other when somebody else tried to do a series that competed with Supercross, and Clear Channel's like, we'll pull all our concerts from your venues. So there's going to be some politics to work out. It's going to be interesting how it plays out. But I do think, again, I keep saying this, but guys like yourself are going to have somewhere else to race Supercross and not have to go out and try to race outdoors and make no money.
Yeah. I mean, that's a win-win for me.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I said, really that's the whole goal is to make a living.
Earn a living. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And you're talented enough and good enough that, you should be able to do that. It shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. You're welcome. Go ahead, Scotty.
We had one of our listeners that wanted to know what your best after race story / memory was.
That's funny. I have a question almost just like that. Go ahead.
Oh man, that's a tough question. After race memory.
What are the Arena Cross Championship parties like?
We're super mellow.
Come on, man.
Not what is it? What did Kiefer say? The old Amsoil stories or whatever. I don't remember the whole thing.
Yeah.
Press box or whatever.
I've heard stories of Arena Cross back in the day and how gnarly those guys were. And I'm definitely not that guy. I have Supercross right after, so it's usually the next weekend we go to Supercross. So usually the celebrating usually waits till after Supercross, but
Okay.
I'm not a big drinker anyways, so we usually go to dinner, hang out, have a good time, and go on to bed.
No trophy girls and all that kind of stuff, huh?
No trophy girls. For some reason I can't get them. Can't get them to even come to dinner with me. I don't know.
Huh. Well, we got to work on that, KP.
They're all over eating donuts
You're a
with
young,
Jet.
good-looking champion arena cross rider, professional supercross rider. You should have your DMs should be blowing up with.
I know.
Huh.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know
I'm doing
either.
something wrong.
I mean, my DMs are always blowing up, KP.
That is not true.
That is true. What you just said. No, you saying that it's not true is true. But
Well, you did get that. Grandma sounded kind of like she was into it.
the email. Hey man, I text with Brady and Kylie, and they're all taken, but Riley. And,
So you're good at you're friend zoned by all of them.
I'm a friend zone with lots of monster girls. I don't know, man. Oh, anyway, well, let's move on. Hey,
So there was no fighting with Charlie Bogard and swinging silencers
he's
and
too young to
chains.
even probably know those stories. Have you?
No fights. Everything was, especially this past one, because we did 6 weekends of arena cross and then straight into East Coast.
Yeah.
It was mellow. We did our celebration at the track, went back, went to Yard House for dinner, and I kept it super local with a water and a lemonade. And
Damn, KP, I don't even want to come to your championship parties.
Yeah, well, that sounds like right up your alley. You don't drink either.
No, I don't want to drink, but damn it, I want a steak, and I want I want a steak, and I want.
I don't know what a Yardbirds is.
I don't either, but I want steak, and I want Monster Girls.
yeah, maybe after Supercross, after
Okay.
the work's done, then we can figure it out.
Yeah, I told Paige Craig that I better be on the guest list when Christian wins. Like this, I feel like I'm fairly.
I like that.
That's probably going to be a pretty mellow one too. But if Monster, you think about it, if Christian wins, and then Eli wins, there might be a hell of a Monster party.
Yeah, I think Monster might have to go all out for that one.
Yeah, and then Jet wins. We'll fly over cruise across town to the Red Bull party.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll figure it out, KP. You'll be in Salt Lake. We'll figure it out, and we'll make this. We'll steal somebody else's championship party and have a blast.
There we go. I like that.
Crash a party.
Yeah. Let me ask you a couple off racing topics, because I don't do this very often, but every once in a while I just like to have some random questions. All right.
Yeah. Sounds good.
This is a go-to question for me. When you put the toilet paper roll on the spool, does the toilet paper come off the front or off the back against the wall?
Only the front.
Yeah. All right. That's a win. Yeah. Okay.
Mine sits. I don't even put it on.
You don't even put it on the spool?
It just sits.
It sits on the counter.
I got a perfectly good finger. I can do it either side if I want to.
I'm not even going to go there. You talk about your finger and toilet
for
paper.
the roll, not for my.
Tell KP about our toilet paper roll in the studio bathroom.
Oh,
that
it's
thing is
it's a set of Rentals.
rental handlebars.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty sick. All right, what's the worst trouble you've ever been in? And I feel like this is going to be a boring story too now.
Yeah, I don't have much for you there. Speeding tickets.
Okay. How fast?
Not that fast. I think it was like
KP.
I think it was like a 80 and a 65 or something. So like
that's
it wasn't
not bad.
It wasn't really that bad.
Yeah.
Like
I'll give
Were
you
you
that
like
one.
were you like, excuse me, sir, I'm Kyle Peters, arena cross
I
champion.
just won an arena cross championship. I'm trying to get to my championship party.
man, I remember that like it was yesterday because it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
And that dude didn't give me nothing. Literally walked up. I like had my license registration already. And he was like, all right, license registration. I like gave it to him. He went straight back to his car, came up with a ticket, sign here. And that was it. I'm like,
Man.
dude, you didn't give me no chance for nothing.
You know what to fix that?
What's that?
If you'd had a monster girl in the seat with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably wouldn't even got a ticket.
Right.
A warning or nothing.
Yeah. All right. Last question, man. What's your worst travel experience? Like flight, driving, cross country to a race? Like, what's the worst experience you've ever had?
Oh man. So I was going to. I forget where we were going. Somewhere in Indiana.
Okay.
So I'm like looking for flights. It was an amateur race, but for whatever reason, my bike was already up there, so I was just gonna fly from home up there, and looking for flights. They're stupid expensive, and I somehow got on this website, and I bought this like $39 flight to Indy. I'm like, yes, this is the greatest thing ever.
All right, I love it.
So go out of, I think it was Charlotte or something, and this is the first time I've ever walked out on the tarmac to get on the plane.
Right.
And we walk out of the concourse onto the tarmac to this plane, and it's a 6-seater plane. Like, yeah, prop plane. Yeah. And like, I can see the 2 pilots up front. There's me and one other girl, and she's freaking out. And we had a stop in Nashville, so we get on it. The thing's high side back and forth down the runway. We get off. Sketchiest thing ever. Yeah. We made it to Nashville, and it's in the winter, so I think it was snowing or something. And they didn't even put me like in like the main concourse. Like it was like off in this separate little building by myself. No food, no drink machine, no nothing in this place. And then they're like, oh, like your flight's delayed, like you to go to Indy. And it just kept getting delayed and delayed for, I think I sat in there for 4 or 5 hours.
Oh
like
my gosh.
No food, no drinks. Like this was before like you could really get on the internet on your phone. Like, yeah. No, it was nothing. And then they're like, listen, like the weather's too bad to get you, like to fly you there. We're gonna get you a taxi to drive you the 6 hours or whatever. I'm like, you're kidding me right now.
A taxi.
And no joke, they got me a taxi, and the taxi drove me the rest of the way.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty bad, Kyle. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. I was like, yep, that's the last time. No more $39 flights.
No.
What kind of business model they're running where they're going to pay for a taxi for a $39 flight?
The taxi was probably $500.
Yeah, it was the most, like, I was like, this can't be real.
It would
right
have been
now.
cheaper
like,
to rent you a car and tell you to leave the car there. Wow.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Scotty's got one more for you. We'll let you go.
Yeah, mine's kind of, I guess mine's kind of more serious again. But so the Phoenix Honda team is like y'all have been pretty much dominating that series in Arena Cross for the last few years, and then kind of before y'all it was Babbitt's, and I just kind of wanted to know your opinion on like why like you don't see more of those teams do that, and like kind of maybe get more of guys like you to do that to kind of make that championship a little more stacked, or have a little more, more competition between just one of those teams like that kind of dominating the whole thing.
Scared of KP.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure. So Babbitt's did it the first and second year I was on. I ran the series, and the second year, like they brought Mike Alessi, who's an amazing rider, and he came really close to beating me a couple different times, and then he ended up getting hurt. But Babbitt's pulled out last year, and I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if it's kind of the payout from the track that doesn't attract more riders, or that's a great question, and I wish I knew, because I think the more people that do come and race, like it's just going to elevate myself, elevate other riders, and it's better for everyone. It's better for the racing, better for the fans.
Yeah, it's good for the sport in general.
Yeah, exactly. And I love it. I love competition. I love being pushed and making myself better. So yeah, I'm all in for it.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that like more of those teams at that same caliber are just not watching that and being like, why are we just letting them get all of this? It
probably is the lack of exposure. It's the exposure still. I mean, there is some TV this year. It's getting better every year, but and more teams or more people are trying to get bigger names there every year. It's growing a little bit every year. Give it a couple more years, and I mean, the Kicker Series and the Hoosier Series, man, if those guys could come together,
that would be a big deal.
Somehow, like I feel like it's gonna get better every year. Like I don't think these are going away. These TV packages are gonna get better. And I bet we'll start seeing it more. And next year, this is the first year coming really off of all the COVID stuff, even though we still have some. But give it wait till 23, and let's reassess that question. I bet more people get involved. Kyle, we're going to let you go, man. We got to get Kevin Moranz on. Appreciate you doing it, and we need to get you back on again in a few weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll try to get
absolutely.
a full interview in with you.
Yeah, I feel terrible. I'm sorry,
man.
guys. It's
Don't.
That's my bad for
All
sure.
good, man. It happens. No big deal. Glad you got back with us, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Sounds good. You guys have a good one, and thanks for chatting.
All right, KP. Take care. See ya.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks to Kyle Peters for coming on. We need to take another commercial break in just a moment. We need to get Moranz on. But before we do, for our YouTube listeners, we're going to go ahead and just keep recording. So if you're listening to this in post, again, try to get on our YouTube channel, subscribe, try to watch live if you can. We'll do giveaways. We'll do some cool stuff. We talk to them during the commercial breaks. We're still talking to our YouTube listeners sometimes and shooting the crap and answering questions. But I have some Blood Lubricants Bloodbath. It's a bike wash. It is sitting right here. I don't know what camera's on, but we're going to give this bottle of Bloodbath away to my camera?
Yeah.
To the first YouTube viewer who can tell me, because Logan Carnell is sponsored by Blood Lubricants. So I want to know his best finish ever in Supercross. Any class, any year. What is his best finish ever? First person with the answer wins the Bloodbath. So, Scotty, pay attention.
Yep.
I will tell you the answer here in just a second when we go to break. We'll be right back with Kevin Moranz. Yeah, give me a second. I'll introduce you, and we'll get into it.
Okay, beautiful.
All right. We are back. Next up is our Racetech Privateer Spotlight, brought to you by Racetech, obviously. Racetech, where's my notes, man? Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket suspension modification company. All Racetech products include award-winning gold valves, and settings are 100% guaranteed and made in the USA. Visit racetech.com for more info and use promo code MotoXPod to save. Tonight's Racetech Privateer Spotlight is on our buddy Kevin Moranz. What's up, dude?
I'm doing good, man. Racetech, I use them as well, so it fits perfectly.
Absolutely. Hey, you don't have to wear X brand, do you?
Negative. I wear Oakley, unfortunately.
Well, you're also
unfortunately.
brought to us by X brand, but that's okay. I mean, if you wear the second or third best goggle, that's all right, Kevin.
I'm not gonna dog it just because this is y'all's show, but
right on, fair enough. Let's move on.
I appreciate the people that. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, man. So we talked to you.
I've never worn them, so I can't say nothing.
Yeah, they're good, man. If you ever need a goggle, just hit me up. We'll take care of you.
All right, I got you.
But no, man. We talked, or not? What, I don't know, a month ago or so. You were on, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. I can't remember. You were on. But since then, dude, you have had a couple of your best finishes of your career. Talk about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the biggest thing for me coming into this year was obviously making the jump to the 450 class.
Yep.
Obviously, I went 250 to 450 last year. This year, some kind of domino effects kind of put me in a position to do 450. I kind of had an option to do 250, but my motor builder didn't really, he's not really building motors anymore kind of deal. So I didn't really have anybody to build a 250 engine, along with it just being easier to go out to California, because I'd never been out to California, never raced any West Coast rounds, period. Okay. So there's just a lot of new things for me, and it'd been a lot easier to go out to California with 2 450s, a race bike, practice bike, instead of taking 2 250s, 2 450s, and all the parts and all that stuff. Like, just no way for me to realistically do it. So yeah, just moved up to the 450, kind of just started taking hits to the chin first 5 rounds, whatever. And it's just part of learning, and obviously only being 22, one of the youngest ones in the class right now, and it's been pretty cool to kind of certify myself as at least should be a main event kind of guy. Want to be more of a always shoe-in main event kind of guy. So we're just making progress, man. So it's been really cool to get some of the career best finishes, and that 15th in the last main event in Arlington was big, and then to follow it up with the 16th this past weekend was pretty cool.
Yeah, you sent me some stuff from Dallas, man, and that was your first Triple Crown, right?
Yeah, first Triple Crown on a 450.
Okay, yeah, on a 450. Then it was your best qualifying position ever. So Dallas, Arlington, whatever you want, it was a big weekend for you. Was there something that happened in between there that really you're just okay, I figured it out? Was it just the building process over the season so far? Yeah, go ahead.
In all honesty, the California tracks were new to me. The California dirt, the baseball stadiums were new to me. I could be completely wrong, but I've only really ever raced East Coast rounds, which are mainly football stadiums, if I'm going to be honest, or like Daytona or something like that. So I wasn't really used to the outdoor baseball stadiums. So it's kind of tough for me just to get used to the dirt, the way the tracks broke down compared to, when you're inside a stadium, the dirt tends to be a little bit tackier, be a little bit better. You can kind of move around a little bit more. So I think the biggest thing for me was just getting back into a place that I've done really well at in the past. In the first, stadium that we had that I had already been to, everything else was completely new to me. So just kind of getting back on familiar dirt, I think, is the biggest thing for me.
Okay. Scotty, you got something?
Yeah, so, excuse me. And you were kind of fighting an injury through those first couple rounds too as well, weren't you?
Yeah, so like that didn't help at all. So I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm sure you guys saw, but I was the one that completely weeded myself over the triple at A1 on the second lap of the first heat race of the season. So yeah, it was bad enough to the point where I almost didn't know if my season was going to continue, which really sucked. But was able to get up in with Navarro and, get some good therapy in and just kind of keep working at it, stay off the bike for a few weeks, race only for like the first, I don't think I rode until after round 4, potentially. I could be wrong about that, but that kind of sounds right.
Yeah.
So, it was working back from just a really dramatic crash that could have been a lot worse. So I got out of it pretty unscathed, just obviously the shoulder problem, and that just threw me back as well. I mean, considering the field that I came into, kind of got to be at 100% when you're in your rookie season to be able to compete with those guys.
Any season, dude. The quality of I don't know if that's the right way I want to put it. The field, as we keep saying, is the deepest field ever. Like the talent level, the speed, the ability to go take a win is so high right now that even just to make through the LCQ into the main event, you have to be at 100% all the time. Like there is no, I'm going to take it easy for a lap. It's, you have to be ready to go every single lap, every single gate drop.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like like you just said, like it's so stacked that, it was a big learning curve coming into it, but, getting my feet under me and, honestly just gaining the confidence. Like I had really good confidence coming into the season, but at the same time, like it's your rookie season, never raced Anaheim, only ever been there as a child and watched it on TV. It's just a lot different to experience it. So to get that experience under my belt and handle it pretty well, and then obviously continue to build every single weekend after the A1 crash has been pretty cool. Like you can see clear improvement every single round. So we're just going to keep that ball rolling.
Right. Yeah, I looked up all your finishes earlier today, and I was honestly surprised that your main events was only 3. I knew you hadn't made every one, but I thought you're more like the 5 to 6 range. So I just kind of, going off, you've back to tracks you're comfortable with, you're progressing, you're getting healthier. What total of mains made through this season would you kind of consider as like a successful season for this year?
I mean, the only thing that'd be successful is if I make every main from here on out. To be really honest, I've already made less mains than I had goals to make at the beginning of the season. Obviously, my A1 performance didn't help that. The crash, it just really set me back. And obviously, I couldn't ride, couldn't train, couldn't continue to get better after the first race. So, no, I mean, it's been pretty cool because obviously I was kind of in the limelight last year with the 250 class, and then being one of the only guys that went from 250 to 450 and found success. So it's been pretty cool to go 450 full time. And like you said, like I've been in the spotlight enough that you think I've made more mains than 3, which is pretty cool. Like I've kept myself kind of in the spotlight, people talking about me and whatnot. Obviously been close several times. Like at the beginning of the season, I think round 2 and round 4, I believe, like I led both LCQs. But that was when I was still coming back from my shoulder injury and I couldn't hardly hold on, let alone had stamina to do a full LCQ just because I hadn't been able to ride at all or do anything. So it's just really been building from that. I should have made those mains. But like I said, just kind of keep myself in the limelight, keeping the eyes on me and just continue progressing. Because, from here on out, it's main event every weekend or bust for me. At least that's where I know my potential is. And I have a lot more potential than what I'm even portraying right now. So it is kind of frustrating. But, I mean, it's part of it when you're doing everything pretty much on your own, full privateer style program, and I do a lot of extra stuff with my program that takes a whole lot of time away from just riding and training.
Yeah, how is your program going? You mentioned the kevinmoranz.com and different levels of people where people can help out and support you, and how's that going?
Yeah, no, it's going actually really cool. It's going really good. It's constant work, but it's constant improvement, and it keeps building, which is really cool. So like the program that I have going on is I have Patreon, which is not only for fans but for sponsors. I have two different kinds of Patreon. So if you want to jump on and get logos on the bike and marketing videos and stuff like that, you can join as a sponsor, or you can join as a fan and get cool, things like signed goggles, signed number plates. We do that stuff every single weekend. We also are giving a YCF pit bike away at the end of the season as well to one of our patrons.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of really cool people that are jumping on board and getting behind the program. And, all you really have to do to get a part of it is either go to kevinmoranz.com and hit join Moranz Racing, and then you can join as a fan or a sponsor. Or the easiest way to do it is just go to www.moranzmafia.com and just put in your information, sign up, and then all proceeds obviously go back to getting Sater and I to every single race and getting our equipment there and parts and paying for the privateer lifestyle things. And obviously we got Sater doing the blog every weekend, aka Clutch Media. So it's been pretty cool, all the feedback, and a lot of extremely good feedback about everything we're doing on YouTube as well, which is pretty cool.
Fantastic. I want to ask you, I meant to ask you a second ago. I wasn't at the race this weekend, but I heard you got in a fight with a tough block. How'd that go?
Dude, this is the second weekend in a row. Okay,
really?
So first of all,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of what, this is 100% on me. I'm not blaming anything else or whatever, but I think, I feel like I should have been in the main event at Daytona.
Yeah.
But I got caught up with a tough block on lap 1, and my shifter punctured through the cover of the tough block, so I couldn't move until I, finagled it out of the way of my shifter. I had to rip it off my shifter, more or less. So that's what screwed me on Daytona, and then come here, and then honestly, it was epic. Like I almost ripped the whole shot from the outside in the main event, and was running good, like inside the top 15 for a little bit, and then I think on the 4th lap, I was skimming the right side of the loops and just went a little bit too right and caught the very last whoop. The tough blocks on the very last whoop, barely skimmed them, went to just like continue back on the track and whatnot. But the tough block, my rear brake had punctured through the cover, and the cover had wrapped itself around my rear brake. So it locked it up and just threw me straight to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
So I spent about, I would say, a solid 15 to 20 seconds fighting the tough block, trying to maneuver the tough block to get back off of the pedal so I could pick my bike up and go. I was literally 2 seconds away from looking at the flaggers because they were just all standing around me, not helping, which I kind of understand. I don't know, there's not a whole lot you can do. But I was about to yell at them to grab a knife because I could not get it off of my brake pedal. Dude, so it was very frustrating.
Yeah, those tough blocks, when they suck up in the wheel, it's almost like, let's just go back and take the wheel off. Like it gets, I've seen it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, so it's unfortunately it's part of it.
Right.
There's nobody to blame besides me. Like I shouldn't hit the tough block, but that's what happened this weekend. And then came back and picked off a couple people, which was my biggest thing at this point, is just scoring as many points as I can, because I want to. A big goal of mine is moving up to the elite class and everything, very stacked field. It's not as easy to score points, so I really want to get a national number next year again. So that's when I went down, I was so devastated because I was in the top 15. Would have been probably my best finish of my career, obviously, because I got my best finish of my career with going down. So to be able to get some of those points back throughout the race was pretty nice. Obviously not necessarily the way I want to do it.
Sure.
But, it's part of racing, and you got to be able to finish.
Absolutely, yeah. It's funny, though, that you talk about the way you got into the tough block, because I think our last show, which was a couple weeks ago, I asked a couple guys, it drives me crazy when I see guys at your level, almost everybody starts hitting the whoops right up against the tough blocks. And I'm like, dude, it would just take the smallest fraction of an inch for the bike to kick for you to be in the tough blocks. And sure enough, you kind of got into the tough blocks. And I never understand, as somebody with almost zero talent, I'm hitting those things right down the center because I'm surely going to go right or left. There's no freaking way I'm going straight. So I want all the room I can have, but it's funny that I just talked about it or asked about it, and then it kind of bit you a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, man. because when you get into more of the East Coast style softer dirt and you get into the whoops that are more chewed out, you have to get kind of a little sketchy to get up into the what whoop is actually still good and not completely cupped out. And yeah, it's just kind of the risk that you run, and it bit me.
Wow. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think you this main. I think you started when like 4th or 5th was like right out of the gate. You were up in there. So obviously, you would have liked to maybe stay up there a little longer. But the story of progression that we've kind of talked about, kind of like what was something that you like positively learned from that moment that you can kind of apply to maybe next time you get that situation.
So like the biggest thing for me is like I was just lacking in the whoops more or less. So like I even started in the heat race. I started I believe 5th, and I finished the first lap. I stayed 5th. I mean, obviously it's not a very long track, but I stayed 5th until the whoops, and I got passed by 2 people. I got passed by Brayton and Tomac in the whoops.
That's about right.
And then yeah, so I mean it's just part of being a privateer, not having suspension people and testing and all this stuff. Like I'm riding what I got more or less. And then but the biggest thing like is I'm on a stock 450, and I have a photo of like I am a bike length ahead of everybody else on the line on the start from the outside.
That's
so
awesome.
It's like it's pretty cool to, one, be able to do that, but 2, like I'd have the mental capability and I have the confidence that I know I'm gonna do that at every start, as long as I have a decent line out front of me. That's what obviously kind of screws me in the long run, is when I'm 18th to 20th gate pick. Usually I get shafted on the line that I get, but if I get a clean line, like I'm confident enough to know that like it's mine. I don't care who's on the line, like I'm gonna get it. Am I gonna stay up front? Probably not yet. But I'm gonna, I can get up there at the start. So the biggest thing for me is just even the progression from this one to like the last one. Like the last time I got a start like that, I got shuffled back to like 15th on the first lap. This time I got shuffled back to maybe 8th on the first lap. So it's still not ideal, but when you have Ferrandis and Tomac and those kinds of guys passing you, just trying to stay up there as long as you can and seeing little improvement it's still improvement. So you just have to take it for what it's worth. It's not like I'm going to come out there and rip a whole shot and win the race. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Eventually, hopefully I see myself there, but like it has to be realistic as well. So it's just creating realistic goals and making sure that you do what's necessary to accomplish them, and then just keep building.
Yeah, I think that's more beneficial than creating like unrealistic goals, right? Like I'm going to get a top 5, like then you're like, well, it's not working. I'm getting disappointed. If you create these realistic goals that you're fully capable of, then you can keep building week after week.
Yeah, and like a big goal of mine this weekend, or like after I made, obviously the first main at A3, and then also made the Triple Crown. Like it was a goal of mine to make a Triple Crown in the 450 class. So check that off the mark. And then obviously the next one was to transfer straight from heat. Boom, check that one off the mark this weekend. So it's just creating smaller little goals like that instead of unrealistic goals. Like I'm just gonna go top 5. Like you know what I mean. Like I see myself potential wise 100%. I feel like I could be up there in that point at some point in my career. But realistically, what I'm dealing with, all the stuff that I have going on with my program and my physical conditioning the way it is right now, is piss poor compared to what I could see it being at and what I feel my potential is. So like it's cool to be able to consistently keep working and just trying to give myself enough time to train enough instead of just worrying about how I'm getting to the next race.
Right. We got one more for you before we let you go.
Go for it.
Oh, it was kind of funny. My mom used to always say that you can set small goals, and then like, all right, well, my goal today is to eat lunch. Like, I'm going to eat lunch today. That's when I'm accomplishing my goals,
Mom. Definitely accomplish that goal.
But no, okay. So you mentioned like guys like Ferrandis and Eli coming around you real quick. So we kind of had a listener question that wanted to know if like how different the bike sounds on those different guys. Like, can you kind of like maybe take us through some of the differences of the sounds
between Barsha and Eli?
Yeah, like maybe
well, like. First of all, like I've lined up to next to Sexton several times on the start, and their bike does not sound like my bike, dude. Like I don't even know, it doesn't even sound like a dirt bike. Like at least it doesn't sound like a 450. They have a very different sound. So I mean, like that's one thing I just have to be proud of is I'm running my own privateer program, same bike, same everything, every round, doesn't get rebuilt. Change a filter, change the oil. That's about it. Recluse clutch here and there. And it's a stock 450. So to be able to, pull whole shots like that shows my ability to start. So I know what my ability is on the track, and I'm not portraying what that is yet. So it is exciting to know that I have more in me, but it's just time to find it.
Yeah. Well, it's cool watching you improve each week, and I mean, as they always say, right? Like, you get a win, they come easier. You get a top 15, they're going to start coming easier. And transferring out of the main, they're going to come easier. Like, you're figuring it out. So I look for even better things out of you at Indy this weekend. And I can't wait to see, what it looks like by Salt Lake City.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm excited. And, like, I had a lot of people asking me right off the get-go when the 250 class got weak, the West Coast, like, do you wish you're in the 250 class? I'm like, well, obviously, I would love to be, top 10 in the 250 right now. But at the same time, I did that last year. I had 3 different top 10s. I had 3rd, 4th place. I had several 3rd place heat races. And it didn't bring me jack diddly squat because everybody's like, oh, it got weak. Nobody cares. So I get way more recognition out of being in the 450 class because it's such a stacked class. And to be doing what I'm doing so young and on a stock bike and as a rookie, more or less, my first actual season in the 450 class, like, there's a lot more respect to be given from that than being in the 250 class right now, which obviously more points would be nice, but, I made my decision. I had a lot of, like I said, influences that created that decision, but, I'm sticking with it, staying true to it, and it's starting to pick up and work out. So it's just part of it.
Awesome. Well, Kevin, man, I appreciate you jumping on here with us for a little bit and updating us with the Race Tech Privateer Spotlight and letting us know how things are going.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. You guys just want to, hop on the Moranz Mafia. We actually have a cool, I don't know when you guys are airing this, but we have a cool little program that I'm going to be putting all the patrons at the intermediate tier and above, which is our $20 tier and above. Every single person that's at that, their name will go on my helmet for my helmet wrap this weekend. Our cutoff is actually Wednesday of this week. I don't know when y'all are posting this, but
it's live on YouTube right now. We'll have it posted with probably in about an hour. It'll actually be live. The audio will be live also.
Nice.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
so
If anybody joins, if anybody goes in to kevinmoranz.com and hits that join Moranz Racing tab and hits join as a fan, or do the go to the moranzmafia.com, either or. But yeah, if people join in before Wednesday night, which will be tomorrow night, they can get their name on my helmet, and then we're going to sign the helmet and give it away after the races to one of the patrons. So it's just a creative, cool little way to get people involved and to help us get to the races more or less.
Awesome. Well, good job, man, Kevin, and hopefully our listeners will help out and support that. And it's good talking to you, man.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. Hope to talk to you guys again soon.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
All right. That was Kevin Moranz. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with Rising Moto's Bryan Ripple, and we have a surprise guest coming up here in a little bit. And I
don't even know about this.
No, you don't. And I told them 8:30, but we might have to push that just a couple minutes after Bryan, because KP kind of messes up. KP knows. Him coming on late threw the whole show off a little bit. But let's get to Bryan real quick. We'll be right back.
What's the
go? All right. Our next guest of the night is brought to you by Blood Racing and Blood Lubricant Oil Lines. Tonight, Fly Racing and Blood Lubricant Oil Lines brings us Mr. Bryan Ripple from at Rising Moto. Man, hey, what's up, Bryan?
Hey, Dark Side. Nice to meet you, and thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, man, you reached out on Instagram, and you were talking about that you're kind of trying to start a moto clothing line. So I think, man, we're a small-time show. We started out as just fans of the sport, and that's what you are. So I wanted you to get a little bit of time to talk about what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I sell for clothing. I have my own clothing line, and I sell hats, shirts, beanies, hoodies, sweatshirts. And I just always wanted to become an entrepreneur because I grew up around the sport with my uncle racing.
Yeah, Bradley, right? Bradley Ripple?
Yeah, Ripple, yep. And he raced for a long time doing Supercross, Arena Cross, and I always just wanted to help out privateers just like him. That's the people that have a hard time, going to the races and not having much money, and family helping them out and stuff like that.
Yeah. We do a lot of privateer stuff here, and I've been writing the privateer profiles for Racer X. So yeah, and obviously being fans of Pulp MX, Steve's very, very big on helping privateers. And without those guys, I mean, they're the backbone of our sport, right? Without those guys, the field's not deep enough. We need those guys in the sport, and they need help. So that's really cool. What are you trying to do? Like, first of all, what's the best way for people to see what you got going on and try to, buy some product?
They could visit our store, risingmoto.store. So RISINGMOTO.
Yeah, right.
Store. And they can check us out there, and or they can also check us out at Rising Moto on Instagram. I do have a Facebook page I'm starting, and also starting a Twitter too.
Cool,
starting to get it up, and
So how's it work? Like, is I guess a small percentage of the funds you're going to put towards privateer stuff?
So I am going to put a small fund towards building up to actually start helping privateers, and the rest I kind of want to start improving into more of the company.
Yeah.
And just basically help privateers, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, anybody that wants to do that, we have a lot of people on the show that have done different things to help privateers, whether it be Garrett Schlegel, Dave Drakes with, I'm blanking on his, what is the Dave Drakes experience thing called?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I am so blanking right now, and Dave's going to be mad at me for that. The collective experience. But all these guys, helping privateers out. It's a big deal. So what is your background, though? Did you ride? I know you grew up on race.
I have raced. Used to race when I was younger with my uncle. We used to go around because he used to travel a lot to like a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Because he used to race local like fairs. He used to race. I don't know if you know the Travis Spool brothers.
Yeah.
He raced them a lot actually. So growing up, since he's been real little actually, he raced with them growing up. He raced with them over in Germany for a while. He did a lot of arena cross with them. And he did Buku, the
arena
series.
Cross series,
Arena Cross, one back then, and he did a lot of those, and just traveling, going with him, and that's basically how I got involved in the sport, and he got me riding and racing, and I didn't turn out, as good as he is, as he did, but I still very involved, and I still watch every weekend and keep up with you and Steve's podcast all the time.
That's fantastic, man. We appreciate it, and you got something, Scotty?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I liked the like the '90s nostalgia thing, like you got going with the colors and the logo. So I kind of did you kind of like think about like you wanted that style to come back, and that's what got you into doing this, or you got into doing this and then you was like, I'm gonna go with that style?
At the beginning, that's my first goal, because back then I kind of got really into, since I didn't get to really watch the 90s because I was born in 97. So I really wanted to go watch back and go rewatch them, and see about all that. And I kind of liked how like all the gear and all the how it was old style, like all that stuff looked pretty neat.
Yeah.
Compared to now, it's it's all evolved pretty good, but back then it was pretty, like, they had some neat, cool designs like on their jerseys and everything, and I just thought that was really neat, and I kind of wanted to get back to that type of style.
Yeah, I don't know, Scotty. I think it was Grant Harlan. I think it's Answer that has some retro stuff out right now that I saw in Minneapolis. That stuff was cool. Like, obviously we're a Fly sponsor show, but that Answer stuff looked really cool with that retro.
And I've 80s, seen, I know
early mid '90s look.
I know there was a little bit where Cowie had that kind of retro graphic going on. I like that too.
I dig that. I dig the throwbacks. Well, Bryan, man, I really just wanted to give you a few minutes because our show started off as just a couple fans that didn't had no foothold inside the industry whatsoever, and I like the fact that you're passionate about it and trying to do something to give back. And, you reached out, and that's pretty much all it takes sometimes to get on the show. So it's really cool, and I hope our listeners will go to @Rising Moto on Instagram or go to the website and buy some stuff. And, man, if you're willing to work on supporting the privateers, we're willing to try to give you a little bit of a platform to push that a little bit.
Yes, I generally appreciate it, and thanks for letting me come on, and I appreciate, and I want to help you guys grow too.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I love your podcast. I listen to it all the time at work.
Well, that means a lot to us. I mean, honestly, it really does that people like you like this show, because 4 or 5 years ago, I would have never thought it would get to where it is right now. And we'd be talking to some of the guys we talked to and having a little bit of opportunity to try to help guys like yourself out, because you're no different than us, man. We're just fans of the sport and we love it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Bryan. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. We've got another guest coming up here in just a minute, and I really appreciate you jumping on with us.
All right, thank you, and thanks for having me on, and you guys have a great night.
You too, Bryan. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, that's Bryan Ripple, and again, @Rising Moto, and I think it was risingmoto.store is the website. And he's working, man. Look, this guy, he's obviously young. He's 24, I think, if the math is right, because he's the same age as my son, 97. I think that's right.
Yeah, it's my sister's born in 97.
Yeah, so, he's trying to start something out. He wants to grow and have more options, more logos, probably more. But, right now he's got some T-shirts and hoodies, and hit the guy up, man. Buy a T-shirt, support him. And, he says he's going to give back to the privateers. And as a fan of our show, I'm going to trust him that that's what he's going to do. And, and who knows? Who knows what it may grow into. Like, who would have given us – think about this, Scotty. You weren't part of it, but 4 or 5 years ago, 2017, when I got involved with this thing, the fact that anybody would give us any sponsorship money when we had no listeners, no foothold in the door, like we didn't have that opportunity. We didn't have anybody to really give us any help. We just had to fight and claw and and start meeting people and working our way up. And hopefully us – letting Bryan come on for a minute, maybe that'd give him a little bit of help. And if you, as our listeners, are willing to go buy a T-shirt or buy a hoodie, that's giving back, and maybe he'll do the same thing we did and try to grow that into a new brand, somebody that just has a passion. So, that's what I got.
That's how capitalism works.
Yeah, we've got about 9 minutes before our next guest. So, did you get a winner for the blood lubricants and blood
yes,
bath?
So it was Jake Curry.
Oh my God!
So, but he did. He said. He
cool.
said. He told me to tell you to come up with another one, and he'll pass it along.
No, man, he won.
Okay, he offered to give it up. I'll let that be known to everybody that
this was a YouTube contest, and all our YouTube people are people that are involved all the time. So it's either going to be him or Garrett.
Yeah. Well, Jake, if you want to scroll through the people that are in the chat and you want to
pick a winner,
give it to somebody else, you can do that. But if not, it's yours.
He's got my phone number, so he can text me if he does want to do that, or I'll send it to him. So blood lubricants, appreciate them coming on. Bloodline, blood bath. Again, I don't know what camera's on. Check out their new line of Barracuda oil. And like we said, we got the contest going. We'll repeat it here in a minute. But let's take one more quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be back with a very special guest. I can't promise you this guest is going to go really well. And
I have no idea what's about to happen.
So, but I think no matter how it goes, it's going to be fun.
All right, let's do it.
This may be our most popular guest of all time, and nobody knows. I guarantee you, nobody knows who it is.
I'm on pins and needles.
It's going to be awesome.
All right.
We'll be right back. Hi. Who is this?
Jagger Craig.
Jagger Craig, dude. I think you are one of the coolest kids I've ever met. You probably don't remember meeting me, but I want to know how the KTM Junior race was. Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? You sound excited, man. So tell me the whole thing. How cool was it being in the pits and being like your dad, right? You had factory help. You got free gear.
It was really cool.
Was it cool meeting all the other kids? Did the other kids know who you are?
A lot of them did, yeah.
Did you sign any autographs?
Yeah.
That's neat, dude. Jagger, I'm so excited that you got to do this, and I just wanted to get you on here so you could talk about how was the track? Was it hard?
No, it actually was easy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
I like the finish line. It's really cool how you can go on the finish line.
I would be scared, Jagger. I think without a doubt you would beat me around that track because there's no way I'm going over that big jump. You and your dad are nuts.
Yeah.
So you did not get on the podium, but are you okay with that because you had fun?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Is that one of the lessons that your mom and your dad teach you? Is that really to start with, racing is just it's fun, right?
Yeah.
How was your sister? Was she excited for you, Lennon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
So are you going to start racing some more local races when you have time?
Maybe.
Yeah? Dude, you are so grown up, Jagger. How old are you now? 20?
7.
You're only 7?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think you're going to be more famous than your dad?
Yeah.
I think you already are.
Yeah.
Does he get sad like when you go to the races and more people say your name than him? They're like, "Hey Jagger, we want your autograph."
No.
Hey, my buddy Scotty wants to ask you a question.
Hey, so I saw y'all had y'all's chip and dip party for watching your dad the other day. Which one's your favorite dip?
I like the pepperoni pizza.
That's a dip for chips?
Yeah, Dean's pepperoni pizza dip. I did not know. I didn't even know that existed, Jagger.
Jagger, you just taught me something. Do you still like doing the vlogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite part is when, your mom makes some really cute, funny expressions that I like, but I like it when you take the camera and just take control. I don't even want to watch your dad ride. I just want to watch you be silly. Well, Jagger, I'm not going to keep you too long, man. I just wanted a chance to say hi to you, and hopefully, this might be your first interview. You're welcome, buddy. I am a big fan of your family. You have a really special family, and I think you're a really special kid, and I appreciate you coming on here for a little bit.
Subscribe to our vlogs.
Okay, man. Next time I see you, I want your autograph, okay?
Okay.
All right, buddy. Thank you for coming on. Please tell your mom and your dad that I said thank you.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, bud.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. That was my favorite interview of all time. I'm done.
Yeah, you can retire now.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty
Paige
cool.
was a little worried that he might not do it. She said she had to bribe him to do it, but that was cool.
What was the bribe?
She got to take him to Mall of America, which means I would assume he's going to get to pick something out.
Yeah, okay.
But if they were, I don't know if they were, I think they were watching on YouTube. So if you're still on their page, thank you so much. That was really cool. It's a cool kid, man. Just the fact that
someone said pepperoni pizza dip stock just went up.
Yeah, I'm about to get on Amazon and start placing an order. Dude, that was cool. I was worried that he wouldn't want to do it, but even if he didn't, once he got on it wouldn't. It'd still be cool. But kid's cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you get to see him at Glendale?
I saw them. I never was introduced to them. No,
I think it was Anaheim one.
I never even
he
saw
was
Christian.
around.
Yeah, I never even met Christian.
Okay, all right, yeah, he's a cool kid. So he got to do the KTM Juniors race, and I was wondering about that. He's in there with all those other kids, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Jagger Craig and Christian." Like those other kids probably know who Christian and Jagger are.
There's been other kids that have done it that their dads were like.
Yeah, but not with the. Jagger has a big social media following.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, everybody knows who Jagger Craig is.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, I bet he has. I would like to go look and see what his followers are compared to Christian.
Here, you want me to look it up?
Well, yeah, look it up real quick. But that's cool, though. Thanks, Paige and Christian, for letting him come on. That was a lot of fun. Again, going back to the Blood Lubricants giveaway, we're going to give away 4 quarts of the new Barracuda line of oil. I need you to go follow the Blood Lubricants Instagram page if you're not already, and then share their most recent post, which is about the Barracuda line, and tag us at Motoxpod Show. So I know you did it, and we will pick a winner soon for the 4 quarts of oil. I want to thank Jeff for that. And we're doing the bike wash. I think Jake Curry won that. We have a winner for the Race Tech t-shirt. That was Chris, I cannot say his name. Chris Ash. as well as Carolyn Osborne. If you guys listen,
that's a tongue twister. Chris Ash
it's
asked
because
the show
Ash
for the
after the yeah, man, it's tough.
Okay, so Jagger has 62,900 followers, and Christian has 387,000 followers.
Oh wow, so there's a big difference.
But still, 62,000 followers for a 7-year-old is pretty crazy.
Could we get?
I have like 120.
Dude, I need Paige. If you're still listening, when we post this, I need you to repost it on Jagger's social media. Maybe some of his followers will follow us, and we still want into that championship party at Salt Lake City. Paige.
So are we done? Are we doing any general talk?
No, I need to wrap this up. I've got Steve Mathis.
Okay,
in 30 minutes
I do need
for a privacy
so.
profile. But
all right, guys. So we have like we have like 60 seconds left. I kind of got lost.
60 seconds left on what?
I'm just saying, like, I got a little time left to answer this question for the listeners. So it kind of, a lot of chat happened in the last couple of seconds. I didn't really follow the whole conversation on who Jake's gonna give the thing to. Well, it kind of.
Tell him if he wants.
So
it,
y'all let me know who we need to.
Text me.
Yeah,
Jake can text me. He's got my number.
Cool. We'll just do it that way then. I tried, guys.
But didn't you have something you wanted to talk about earlier?
Well, yeah, a little. Yeah, I do. So I have like an idea.
Okay.
It's about Supercross.
Goober idea.
No,
like
it's Supercross. It kind of goes off the B mains theory. Like having a B main. Okay.
Right.
So here's
as opposed to a LCQ, a B main.
No. Here's my idea. You have two mains, your A main, and I guess you can call it your B main or however you want to call it.
Is that the guys that would typically be in the LCQ?
No. Okay. This is how it's going to work.
I'll shut up now.
Okay. So we pay points to 20 people, right? 22 riders, 20 people get points, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we make the heat races a minute to a minute and a half, 2 minutes shorter. You take maybe 5 instead of 9, and then you have those 5 go to the A main. Then you have a LCQ where those the 2 more go. So you have 12 rider main. Those get the points that 1st through 12th would normally get.
Okay.
Okay, and so then the guys that are in that right outside of the LCQ that go from so you're finishing LCQ matters now. You know, you go down to the first corner, you still have a chance to fight because those next 12 will go into the B main. That will still get a chance to award the same amount of points that they would normally get for riding around getting lapped in the main event. Instead, they get those same points for battling for a win. They get those sponsors get more limelight. We bring in more people to support the sport because these guys are getting more TV time, and you're still, it makes a guy has a bad race. You're still getting championship points for being in the B main, but I think it makes the racing better for the 12 factory guys. I think it makes it better for the next guys, more opportunities, less of the lappers getting in the way, and because I feel like the LCQ guys, they do all of that to get into the LCQ, and then they're in the main, and then it's kind of over. Like they're already dog-tired because they had to do so much racing. I think that you could add that into the program, shorten the races a little bit, take some of the extra stuff that's out that they do. I mean, I would give up the science of Supercross to have this main in there.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, okay, that's during like TV time. Like that's when they're, that's not like they're we're not going to see a race on TV during that. That's coming out of a commercial break. Well, maybe I guess
shorten the mains a little bit too.
I mean, I guess that's I mean, I'm not opposed to it. The more racing, the better. I'm fine with like.
I think it just adds a whole new element.
Yeah.
Because you have these guys, I
don't hate it.
Yeah. Oh my god. All right.
I wanted to hate it, but I don't hate it.
I don't know if anybody has any opinions about that, but I don't know. I've been thinking about that for a while, and I guess I need to talk to Sean next time I see him.
I don't know. That's okay. I don't know if that's his.
Well,
his position, but sure. He might be like, that's the best idea we've ever heard. You need to talk to Mooey. And there's another guy that I think do all that, but Mike Mooey. I
don't know. I just think that I know they're not going to change. I'm just a guy ranting, but
yeah. So let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
I've got to get Mathis on here in just a little bit for the privateer profile.
Yeah, we know. We all know you have bigger priorities. The Motoxpod show is secondary. We know.
Okay, I still got like 4 hours worth of work to do, so you get to go home and go to sleep. I want to thank Cherubies USA.
No, I have to
Race
go
Tech,
edit the video.
Race Tech Suspension, Fly Racing, X Brand Goggles, Works Connection, Torque One Racing, R Jerky, Berm Lords Graphics and Jersey ID, Shock Socks, Williams Motor Works, Extreme Colors, Blood Lubricant Oil Lines. Guys, go check out Blood Lubricants. Use the promo code MotoX. Get you some oil. Then use the Race Tech promo code and get your suspension redone. And order some R Jerky. You support those privateers, the Wageman brothers. And you have some great snacks for Indianapolis this weekend. Or we need to get some more R Jerky to give away. We need to do some more of that. And don't forget, also, if you guys are watching on YouTube, the weird head on the end of the table that Jilly and Cody sent. Guys, send a name. We need to name this mannequin head. MotoXPodShow@gmail.com. The winner is going to get something from a Cherubies. I have no idea what it is just yet. You're welcome, Paige. I don't know if you're still listening, but she says he's all giddy right now.
That's
so,
funny.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks to Kyle Peters. Thanks to Trent Maher from Moto Limited for saving the day when KP was not able to answer. He said his phone actually broke and he had to get a new phone. I've been there too, A1. Thanks to Kevin Moranz. Thanks to Bryan Ripple from at Rising Moto. Thanks to Paige and Christian for getting Jagger on. That's our biggest name to get. That's bigger than Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate it. It was a good show. Episode 226. We will be back next week. I think Doc Smith may be in studio after he's done his first 2 Supercrosses. Hasn't made a night show yet. He's going to Indy this weekend. Maybe he makes his first night show. If not, we'll have some stuff to talk about. And I think Tyler Sutterth may be coming up to sit in studio again. So hopefully we'll have a full house next week.
Yeah, Tyler wasn't in the show this week. He must be doing something.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. He hasn't got back to me about being in. But anyway, I want to thank all our sponsors. Thank all of our listeners, our viewers.
Yeah, YouTube guys, we're good tonight.
Yep. Hit our Patreon up if you guys want to support the show. I think that's it. We are out. See ya.
All right, YouTube guys, appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for
listening. Play the outro?
Well, yeah, do it.